heartwarming build-up to this contest, and must also mention, amidst all that, the young guard of honour that was on parade, who were provided by the Coventry Bears under-10s. There'll also be in action at half-time. There's a group of 60 involved with the club, the Coventry Bears, who are here today, and for the majority of them, it's a first visit to a Super League game. Let's hope it lives up to expectations. Marcus Griffiths is the referee in charge of this. You could say this is Super League's big underachievers of this season against the overachievers. Mighty Leeds down in 8th place, scrambling to make the playoff places. Leigh 3rd in the table, into next weekend's Challenge Cup final. Just not just making an impact this season, Phil, but actually sustaining it.
Find me a fan who would have said that when we get to round 21, Leigh will be above Leeds in the league table. I don't think anybody at the start of this season could have predicted that, not just above them, but with 4 victories more than the Leeds side, who are clearly under pressure here tonight to reignite their season.
Yeah, Leeds spluttering along. It's been a search for consistency for the Rhinos this campaign, whereas the Leopards, well, consistency has been their watchword.
Yeah, and they've got a consistent team out here. How great that they've put such a strong side out. I think Hull KR rested players for their game earlier in the round. Leigh have gone full strength here. There's pros and cons to doing it either way, but great to see Leigh nearly at full strength here against Leeds.
The likes of Edwin Mpape and Lachlan Lamb out there, when a lot of people thought they'd be wrapped in cotton wool for this one.
Well, they began the season and the supporters were thinking about survival. Can we stay in Super League? I think now they've started to think, can we win it? Hence the reason why they've got a strong side out here today, and they want to pick up the 2 points.
Yeah, they won 10 of the last 12 of the Leopards, and they're in possession at the moment, with Lamb putting a teasing little kick in, turning Nenny McDonald rounds. Good start from the Leopards.
Yeah, again, you see John Asiata moving the ball. He's crucial. His combination with Lamb on that left-hand side. Look, they can move the ball to create opportunities, but it also creates space for them to kick into. Not a great kick from Lamb, but a bright start from Leigh.
There's Lewis Roberts. Leeds having to make changes. Myler probably gone for the rest of the season. Blake Austin gone.
And an opportunity then for the young players. Lewis Roberts, as you said, just took the ball up there, actually playing against his hometown club in Leigh. So we'll see. They might have a simpler attack, but they're going to have to run far harder Leeds if they want to win today.
Here is, talking of consistency, here is Reece Martin, who is Leeds' joint top try scorer, but also has that golden boot. Now then, first test for Tom Nisbet on the wing for Leigh, coming in to the side with Josh Charnley not involved today. He is one of the absentees. Lamb. Leigh just over their own 40-metre line. Papi just waving Briscoe away. And Gildart, first touch for him on his birthday, 27 years of age, making his debut, having returned from his stint in the NRL. Tom Amone.
Yeah, the power of Leeds' performances this year allow you to go and get somebody like Oliver Gildart. I don't think he'd have considered coming to Leigh prior to how well they've gone this year.
The Leopards are offloading the ball. Here is Gareth O'Brien. He's only missed 1 game, O'Brien, as he shrugs off Aidan Caesar's challenge. Lamb now. Lamb. Ben Reynolds with the kick. And they come sweeping round, and Luke Hooley it is.
Great kick from Ben Reynolds, who is arguably the most improved player in the Super League this season. I think Adrian Lamb's done a great job in building his confidence, building his game, and improving his contribution to the rest of the lads around him.
Now here's Reece Martin. South Stand looking to lift their side. The sun is shining after a horrendous couple of days of grim weather this English summer. Not the biggest turnout at Headingley, but there are other attractions in the city of Leeds. It was touched, says referee Marcus Griffiths. 6 to go. He signals, and off goes Jared O'Connor. Making his 44th consecutive appearance, O'Connor. Nenny McDonald, bit of a doubt about him before the game. Darrell Alfords was on standby to play, but the PNG international taking his place in the starting lineup. O'Connor, Cameron Smith now. Here is Aidan Caesar, his partner Blake Austin gone. Now a Castleford Tigers player after a very abrupt parting of the ways with the Rhinos. Caesar plays the ball. Jared O'Connor, Aletsky. Bentley is cut down. Good tackle by Reynolds. About 20 metres away. Cameron Smith, and the ball is stolen from him, and it was good work from Tom Amone.
It was a nice set from Leeds, wasn't it? The game really sped up. Jared O'Connor with his hands on the ball. And if Leeds want a blueprint of how to play when you're a half-back down, well, getting quick rucks and making the defensive team have to make decisions is right. Tom Amone with a strong steal. Looked like there was two in the tackle.
I thought there was somebody down below.
Yeah, it's a smart piece of play. He's got away with it. The question is whether John Asiata was in the tackle or not. They've got away with that one. But nonetheless, a great set for Leeds. And really looking to tire Leigh out through the middle.
Leigh, of course, one eye on next weekend and the Challenge Cup final against Hull Kingston Rovers at Wembley. But also looking at their place in the table, third. Looking for the top two, trying to keep Wigan within sight. Having lost to them last week, Lamb floats the ball out wide. Nisbet, never a chance of him getting that.
Yeah, that's going to be talked about over dinner tonight, you'd imagine. Lachlan, can we just talk about what happened at 6 minutes 17 seconds? Because you tried to throw the ball to the touch judge.
Here it is, look at this, yes.
But a little bit, like, they've had Ricky Latelli on that side all year. He's been such a get-out for them. Lachlan could throw that ball, maybe Latelli or Charnley picks it up. Neither of them are here. So Gildart comes in. But that lethal left is not quite as lethal here this afternoon.
Hold Edwin, wait Edwin, tackle one, go one.
Leeds going into this game having lost the last two games. 4 points off the top six. And needing to string a good run of results together to feature in the playoffs. Here is Luke Hooley making his home debut, the fullback. Myler probably gone for the season. Tom Holroyd, no Sam Walters, who has been impressive for Leeds in recent weeks, but he's picked up a hamstring injury. This guy's been impressive, James McDonald. Once of Leigh, made 17 appearances for the club last year to McDonald. He's picked up a bang there. Cameron Smith, short ball to Tom Holroyd. Holroyd back to Cam Smith. And Smith making a few yards through the middle there for the Leeds Rhinos. 4 tackles gone. Reece Martin stopped in his tracks. Looking for the first points of this game. 5th tackle. Caesar just dinks the ball, left-footed, high. O'Brien comes for it. It's Leeds who claim it. Still alive, says the referee. Play on. And then there's a penalty, I think.
Originally it's a contest.
Marcus Griffiths has awarded Leeds
penalty.
the penalty. Somebody taken out.
Yeah, just tackled him in the air. It's Gareth O'Brien who's jumping looks to compete with the ball. Well, as soon as he realises he's not getting there, he clasped his arm around Ash Handley. It's a penalty to Leeds.
So Leeds able to regroup because that set ended scruffily. And they're in a great position here now as Aletsky plays the ball. Here is Cameron Smith, and Smith almost wrong-footing that Leopards defence. Stopped just a metre or so short of the try line. Jared O'Connor, back it comes to Caesar. Caesar stops, pauses, gives the ball away to Hanley, and Hanley cuts back in field. 10 metres out they are. Here is Caesar, floats the ball on to Cameron Smith, and then Tom Holroyd comes back in towards the post, bang in front of the post in actual fact. Jared O'Connor is almost there, he's held up. Held up, virtually on the line. On the last. Caesar, will he put the kick in? No, he'll float the ball over the top, and Nenny McDonald puts a little kick in, and Lachlan Lamb did well there.
Great defence from the Leigh side. We've seen them score some brilliant tries this season. But you've got to prevent tries from being scored as well, and they've shown a discipline and an organisation. They're under pressure in a concerted attack there from the Leeds team. They held the line, and Lachlan landed really well to scoop up that ball. Here's Jared O'Connor going close, but not quite up to the line. Now a mistake by the Leeds team.
Tom Nisbet's, I think, with the error.
Yeah, it's a killer that. Just in front of your sticks, he's just trying to play the ball, fumbles it. Do you know that's grip spray? Right, grip spray has been a problem for outside backs for a long time. You spray it all over your hands. The problem you get is the ball stays stuck to it. He drops it there off the back of it. A lot of pressure for Leeds. And more pressure coming here.
It's no wonder Adrian Lamb was fuming there, because they survived that, and then they just give the ball back.
His son's thrown a ball in touch and compounded it with another area.
Got a great chance here now, Leeds. Good teams. They've got two players hiding behind the scrum in the pocket. Caesar, Hooley, swing to the left. Didn't come out quickly enough, did it?
Caesar in possession. He was standing stock still, and Gildart came and clattered him. But they were offside.
He was offside. You felt like he had to be offside. He was there the instant Caesar caught the ball. Well, there's one way to shut him down. Bang, there you go, offside.
Well, it could be surely points for Leeds, because they've been hammering away at this Leigh defence. We've got 11 minutes on the clock. Leeds in prime position here. Here is Cameron Smith. Here is Caesar. McDonald. They're spinning him around, eventually putting the second row to ground. Good defence there. Jared O'Connor to Cameron Smith to Tom Holroyd. Jack Hughes with the tackle. Jared O'Connor. Here is Cameron Smith. Ball out the back, and Nisbet. Oh, Nisbet trying so hard to get that ball, but he's knocked it on, I think. And Leeds to get it back again.
They're going to get 6 more, and a brilliant chance again here from the middle of the field to see from a better scrum.
Oh, that's rough luck on Nisbet.
Yeah, it is. It is, but look, Nisbet comes up with a mistake. He's sort of forced to make an aggressive defensive read and come in and do something. But what's impressed me about Leigh has been their defensive resilience, not just the way they've attacked. It's actually, they've had a real appetite to defend the line. Rowan Smith will certainly be hoping that his side can break them down here.
Well, they've had enough possession, in very good position, and now with Corey Johnson, who's playing in the halves. Of course, Austin gone, Myler, who would be the normal candidate, out. Holroyd. Just to the left of the post, Cameron Smith now. Here is Caesar. Caesar, McDonald. McDonald. Another penalty. This time it goes to Leigh. Some respite for the Leopards.
Watch the games of Rugby League, and you often see a team that attacks for a very long period of time. It's felt like 5 or almost 10 minutes and not score, and then in a minute we're going to see the other team go to the other end and score. It frequently happens.
The psychology of it's really interesting. Actually holding a team out like Leigh have here is almost as effective as scoring a try. It was certainly a crossing. It was Roberts who ran a line and just checked one of the Leigh defenders. And look, like I said, Leigh have been exceptional with the ball, but it's doing them disservice not to talk about how well they defended, and a period of defence there to be proud of.
So the penalty has lifted the pressure on the Leigh defence. Action going on elsewhere. Hull FC are leading Wakefield by 6 points to 0. Adam Swift, the try scorer, prolific season for the former Saints man. Hull FC haven't given up their hopes of a top 6 place like Leeds, but they, like Leeds, have been inconsistent. Here come the Leopards. It's with Gareth O'Brien. O'Brien, a real stalwart of Super League, on his 9th club. Oh, Asiata keeping hold of that ball. Here is Reynolds now, and Leigh looking threatening. Inside at Rhinos 10 on the last. It's Gareth O'Brien who puts the kick into a bit of space. Nobody there to challenge for it for Leigh, and it's Caesar who was underneath it.
Don't trap him, go back.
Bit of a let-off that, really.
Yeah, nobody anticipated the kick. It was sort of a manufactured kick. Chamberlain in the left edge for Leigh were just deep, expecting the ball to be moved through their hands. It wasn't, and it was just an easy catch for Caesar. That being said, Bill, they're 8 metres out from the line. Leigh won't be unhappy with being in this position after the amount of pressure that they've just been under.
Absolutely.
Go, free.
Nenny McDonald plays the ball. Here is Ash Hanley. In his 10th season as a Leeds Rhino.
Go, free.
O'Connor. Cam Smith shrugs off the first challenge and the second.
Felt like the Cam Smith show for me. I think Leeds' best attack, best hope is when he has his hands on the ball. Just got to make sure he gets the balance right with his workload.
Caesar gets the kick away. Nisbet, the former St Helens winger, is underneath the ball.
One. Move, Janet, get squirt on the back, Tom. Go, one. Well done. One.
It's Gareth O'Brien and Tom Briscoe. A popular figure here in his Leeds days. 93 tries in 208 appearances for the Rhinos. Briscoe. Jack Hughes now. Just over the halfway line. Quarter of an hour gone, 0-0 here. Amon.
I love that combination of Asiata and Amon and Mulhern. I think Asiata uses his big men like this, like Robin Mulhern, puts them into weaker parts of the defensive line, Bill. What you end up is getting maybe a man left on the deck or a quicker ruck. So it's not always about try scoring for those loose.
On the last, Leigh are running it. Nisbet puts a little kick on. Great hand from Hooley, and he's going to counter the fullback. Did well there. Leeds appealing for a set restart at the very least.
Brilliant skill by the fullback. Picks up Regathers, his first thought is let's get out of here. Picks. Leeds shift the ball wide. Some entertainment here.
Here's Reece Martin.
Hold, wait, go two.
Just inside their own 40 of the Rhinos.
Free, away,
James Bentley had a spell on loan at Leigh earlier in his career, and then Leigh are penalised. And it's Mulhern who's the culprit. Gets a word from Marcus Griffiths.
It was a strong carry from Bentley, wasn't it? There's an argument that he stands up to play the ball probably in an uncontrolled fashion, puts the ball down. There's a lot of wrestling goes on in the game. You know, I'm fine with that penalty. Mulhern obviously isn't. Leeds get another chance. And you feel like they need to get some points here.
So on the back of that penalty, here comes Oledzki.
One, move, Tom. Next line here, Ed. Wait, Ed. Play on, move to the
30
side.
metres away from that Leopards line.
Two.
Holroyd.
Okay, don't trap him, Tom. Let go of his
Drum
leg.
roll in the background. Jared O'Connor. McDonald, a burst of pace.
Move, Kai. Edwin, wait.
Just short of the 20. Jared O'Connor. Corey Johnson, and here is Cam Smith. And Oledzki hitting that one at pace, but good tackle low down from Asiata. O'Connor, signal from Caesar to Bentley running back inside.
Five. Kai, away.
Jared O'Connor, the ball bobbling up to Cameron Smith, sat up nicely for him in the end. The kick from Caesar, and the cover is there.
Surrender. Sorry.
And Leigh are able to scramble in defence. Ed Chamberlain getting down.
You say scramble, Bill, and I agree with that, but it does look as though it's organised and in control. That they appear to all know who's doing what, who's standing in what position.
Here's Kai O'Donnell, just back after a lengthy ban. The second row, out for 6 games he was for a bad tackle in the cup tie against York. Off goes Briscoe. 33 years of age now. Reynolds drives the ball downfield. Hooley hands it off to Ash Hanley. Here's Reece Martin. Martin bobs the ball out on the halfway line to Corey Johnson, and then it's Bentley. Bentley brought down just outside that Leigh 40, and here's Caesar arriving at pace. Mulhern down low. Referee tells Caesar to go back to that 30-metre line where he was tackled to play the ball. Here's Nenny McDonald now. And McDonald has lost the ball. Leigh scoop it up. And Leeds are squandering possession.
Yeah, I think that their attack, look, I think they play best when it's just a bit chaotic and frantic. And the issue that they've got, as Phil Clark's nailed it, is that the Leigh defence has been really organised. They've all held the line. There's a lot of communication going on in the defensive line. And when your attack relies upon somebody to just fall out of structure, then you might be waiting a long time for this Leigh side to do that.
Forward pass is the cry from the South Stand, nothing doing, as Kai O'Donnell takes the ball up for Leigh Leopards. Looking to get back to winning ways, having lost at Wigan last weekend. Reynolds. Another appeal from the South Stand, this time for a penalty. Again, nothing coming their way. Instead, it's Lamb. Lamb puts a little kick in. Hooley watches it and eventually makes it safe. Almost caught out there.
Yeah, it's the ball movement again through Asiata to Lamb. That brings the winger up, McDonald, on the end of the line. That presents space to kick into, and then it's all about the accuracy and the weight of the kick. Hooley does very well to get on it, but it's the accuracy and the execution from Leigh that gives them a repeat set.
You know, the Leopards have got the second best strike rate in Super League, only behind the Catalan Dragons. When I'm talking about getting inside your opponent's 20-metre zone and converting it into tries. And this will be the first chance we probably see in this set where we get the Leopards close to Leeds' line. Can they get over it?
Goal line dropouts is a strong one. Briscoe fields it, invites Mulhern to run it back. Another former Leeds man. Way back in his career, 9 years ago, Rob Mulhern was briefly a Leeds player as he plays the ball. It's Leigh in possession. It's the Leeds crowds urging their side on in defence. And it's Leigh looking for the first points of this game. A quarter of the match gone, and it's still 0-0. Here is Lachlan Lamb. Here is John Asiata.
We see a couple of new, fresh bodies on the field here for Leeds. Rowan Smith decided to bring some subs on sooner than we usually see them.
Here's Lachlan Lamb, and Lamb trying to wrong foot that Leeds defence. Here is Ipapi with a strong run. Can he get it down? Has he stretched out and got that ball down? The Leigh Leopards hooker. He caught them napping there. Marcus Griffiths reckons it's a try. Liam Moore is his video ref.
OK, it's tackle 4. Live decision is a try. So we'll look at the grounding only, please, just to confirm that Papi does maintain possession of the ball. So he's in possession at this point. Hand's still on the ball. Hand's still on the ball. If we go slow on this frame, please. His hand does look to maintain possession. We can just finish it when the ball is on the floor. You can see he's in possession there. Hand is always on the ball. Yeah, we'll finish on this one. You can pause it when the ball's on the floor, please. Hand on the ball. Still on the ball. Thank you. I made my decision.
Got to say, these Super League video refs have been very, very concise at the moment. Concise and decisive. Ben Thaler was on Friday night. Liam Moore likewise. Quick look at that. And Edwin Ipape's 6th try of the season is confirmed, just back from a one-game suspension. Now, when people were talking about what side Leigh would put out, one of the names they said, oh, they'll rest Ipape.
Yeah, well, he's not rested him at all. Phil Clark mentioned that Sam Lasoni and Sangare are on the field for Leeds. Came off the repeat set from Lachlan Lamb, obviously building pressure. When you build pressure, it tires out middlemen. And, you know, Leeds have rolled the middles to avoid situations like this where someone like Edwin Ipape can be bright out of dummy half and catch you out. He's so good at that, Phil Clark.
That's an amazing try. You know, I'll go back over 6 months. When Brian Kearney said to me, I'll tell you a player who might win the Man of Steel next year, Edwin Ipape. And I don't think any people were really expecting that as a possibility. But when you see what he can do for Leigh this season and what he might do in the Challenge Cup final and the Grand Final, perhaps if they get there, you start to think that maybe Brian Kearney could see the future.
Oh, please. Just don't.
No.
It was a great call, and I tell you what, he'll be a contender. He will be a contender when they get to that shortlist.
Ben Reynolds will try and convert Edwin Ipape's try, his third against Leeds this season. Reynolds has missed. He got 2 tries, did it, Ipape, against Leeds in the 20-6 victory for Leigh against Leeds in April.
And the first one was a similar to try to that. But you see, he's so strong. McDonald can't get forward enough, and there's no way he can cope one-on-one and stop in that momentum.
Yeah, and the markers, O'Connor and Hooley, just get too close. And Ipape's preying on markers to not quite do the job. Well, Leeds don't get it quite right. The ruck's a little bit too quick, and he knows when to run. Look at this. It's a try on the left. It's not how they usually score it. That's the 38th try on that centre left. That left-hand side was lethal.
What about that from Tom Briscoe to avoid embarrassment from the restart?
It was a good restart, though, isn't it? I think sometimes we ignore the quality of the kick and how difficult it is for the receiving side to take it. He found space, he got the ball to bounce. Luckily for Tom Briscoe and the Leigh lads, he managed to keep it in play.
Well, he's not the biggest out there on the field, Tom Briscoe. He got off the ground well to get a touch on that ball. Just going back to Edwin Ipape, what fantastic recruit, because he's PNG Hunters, not an NRL. Playing in the Queensland Cup,
Yeah, right.
but I suppose connections as well worked for Adrian Lamb.
From Leigh to Leigh, wasn't it? He's gone. L-A-E, I think is how you spell it, but it's the...
Have you been there? Did you play there?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Hooley's underneath the kick. Just his second Leeds appearance, Luke Hooley, and his first on this Headingley Fields. There's Lewis Roberts.
Go. Tom, you're not square. 2. Okay,
Ash
now.
Hanley.
Still 2. Backwards. Surrender.
Groans from
Stand on the floor.
the Leeds supporters.
I think that happens, Bill, doesn't it? When teams attempt an offload and it doesn't come off, they can be heavily criticised. Perhaps an injury concern for Leigh on the far side of the field. Is that John Asiata?
John Asiata is being visited by a member of the physio team while we see this.
Chris Melling, who used to play in Super League a long time ago, the physio at Leigh.
That is one thing. They won't take any risks.
Well, he'll be played next week regardless what that is. Won't he? Let's be honest.
Here's Tom Nisbet.
Stand, Justin. On the foot.
Elsewhere this afternoon in Super League, we've seen Hull ahead and Salford ahead, 14-2. Here is Briscoe.
Go 3. He's thrown him off.
And here is Gildarts, the new recruit.
Sangara.
Not for very long.
It's a forward pass, isn't it?
That went forward.
Tom Malone just touched the ball that was meant for Gareth O'Brien. He's just explaining to Edwin Ipape that he thought it was for him. Pretty certain that was for Gareth O'Brien. Just nudges it forward into Gareth O'Brien's hands. And Leeds can just breathe here. Remarkably, they've had most of the possession here. Just felt like they dominated the opening exchanges, but they look like they're blowing here to Leeds.
Well, neither side hurrying to pack this scrum.
I reckon, though, Salasone and Justin Sangare don't have brilliant engines and rarely play for more than 10 or 15 minutes without a rest, really. So it'll be interesting whether they can get to half-time with those two still in the middle.
Hanley. Luke Hooley was on his shoulder. Hooley has brought down Cameron Smith now. Coming across the field back to where Hooley was tackled. Here is Justin Sangare. Willie Peters among the crowd here, the Hull KR coach, scouting out the Wembley opposition. Would have been wondering what sort of Leeds side he was going to see. Well, he's seen a fair representation of what the Robins will face next weekend. Here is Sangare. Likes an offload, does the French international. Couldn't get that one away. Caesar on the last with the kick. It's a high one, and Nisbet does well there. Under pressure.
It's a great take from Nisbet, isn't it? It's an accurate kick. Just people don't see a lot of these things. You have to, if you went back, watch Robin Mulhern. He pushed off the line, put some pressure on the kick. The little efforts from Leigh Leopards are what made them stand out this year. A great take from Nisbet, but some great work from Robin Mulhern, who's played a full 28 minutes in the middle here to put some pressure on that kick.
Nisbet's actually been used in the second row by Adrian Lamb. This is his first wing appearance of the season, and he dealt with that kick superbly.
Lovely pass there from Tom Amone to Mulhern. They scored a try against Wigan last week. The number 8 passing to the number 10. You don't often see that in every team. And there was a time when some Wigan fans criticised Adrian Lamb when he was a coach at the Warriors. Their attacking player wasn't good enough. He's got two of the top try scorers in the competition, hasn't he? At Leeds this season, they've scored on the left, on the right, forwards, created tries, played good rugby.
So Leeds coming up to the half-hour mark, and they trail by 4 points to 0. Here's Nenny McDonald, another of the PNG contingent. Set restart is signalled. Here is James Bentley. Leeds looking for their first points of the game. Sam Lasone.
No, it wasn't. 2.
Usually makes an impact when he comes on, does Sam Lasone, the former Gold Coast player.
Edwin, give him space. 2.
It's Cameron Smith. Here is Caesar now. Caesar, shot. Oh, the ball is batted down. Briscoe will chase for it. Bentley will pick it up. The referee will bring them back to where it was knocked on by the Leopards.
It was needed, wasn't it, from Tom Briscoe? They'd done a great job at Leeds to really strip numbers on this right-hand side for Leigh. Aidan Caesar running at full speed, and a telling defensive read from Tom Briscoe. Had to come up with something, decided to come up with a ball and give Leeds another set of 6. Maybe that's a sign of how confident they are with the defence.
Leeds would be hoping here that Aidan Caesar's okay. They see the physio stood with him. I guess the rate of improvement for Corey Johnson at standoff and Luke Cooley at fullback over the rest of this game will be a big determinant. They've played for 30 minutes, and I would guess they may be now just perhaps building in a little bit of confidence. That was the first time we've seen that trio of standoff, scrum half and fullback linked with some threat.
Yeah, and you get, when you play as a partnership, look, obviously with Johnson and Hooley there are new, but they've had Austin and Caesar together. You know, without doubt, Blake Austin will leave a hole for the last 7 rounds of this competition. But you're right, Phil, what you said at the start, that presents an opportunity, a wonderful opportunity for a young player to come in and take that over.
Head and feet then to Leeds. 20 metres out. And another prime position for them. They can't complain about the amount of possession they've had, nor the territory they've had. But
they've got the ball in and out of the scrum too slowly, though. Again, Leeds' defence could cope.
Here's Lewis Roberts, Welsh international. Jared O'Connor now. Here is Caesar, looks to be motoring all right. And Sam Lasone, strength from the big Samoan international. Taking Leeds a couple of metres away from that Leigh Leopards try line. Here is Justin Sangare. Straight in front of those posts. Odd sort of play the ball that was. Cameron Smith. 5th tackle. Can Leigh's defence withstand again? Caesar will pinpoint the kick, at least he hopes so. The ball is knocked down and it's in Gareth O'Brien's hands, I think it is.
Tap back from Ash Handler, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I don't know why you're trying to tap the ball back there. You're over the line.
Maybe he didn't think he was over the line.
Just catch it. It's a try.
Nowhere for Jack Hughes to go.
Yeah, it's a great kick from Caesar, and I think if Ash Handley just catches that and falls down, it's a try. He tries to pat it back, it's the wrong call.
Well, Leigh looked like they need some new legs out there, don't they? And Matt Davis is it, charging forward. Good run for him, what a tackle.
Big hit on Matt Davis, 5th tackle. Let's go downstairs and hear from Jenna Brooks.
Yeah, we saw John Asiata struggling a little bit out there, which what looks to be a bit of an arm injury. He's just been subbed for Matt Davis. There was a discussion. I think it's just precautionary. I will get an update for you in just a moment, though.
Thanks, Jenna, but they aren't going to take any risks, especially on a player like John Asiata, who's been ever present this season.
I think you're wrong, Billy, but I can beg to differ that I think they will. I think he normally comes off after about 30 minutes. I think that won't be a change. He'll come back on.
Not if he's got some sort of arm injury.
It's tough. It's tough as John Asiata. He'll want to get back on. He'll want to get back out there.
Sangare. Set restarts. Signalled very loudly in my right ear. Here's Cameron Smith.
Jack, hold me, mate. Go.
Leeds. Half-time approaching. Looking for their attack to click, because it hasn't. Missing a couple of crucial components. I mean, it hasn't been that impressive this season anyway. It's been very ad hoc stuff from Leeds when it has worked. Sam Lasoni plays the ball. Caesar now. Caesar's pass finds Reece Martin. Martin, the ball down into the hands of Hanley. Hanley basketball over the top to Bentley. Bentley skipping across the field, and Bentley still going. Eventually brought down. Here's Jared O'Connor. O'Connor gets the try for Leeds. Or has he? It looked as though Jared O'Connor had got that ball down. Marcus Griffiths wants confirmation from Liam Moore that that was the case. The referee thinks it's a try, but he needs a video ref to confirm it.
Okay, it's tackle 4. Live decision is a try. So we'll just look at the grounding again, please. So O'Connor has possession here, and the ball is grounded. Thank you.
Well, Jared O'Connor, it looks, has got tries in successive home games with that one, as video ref Liam Moore doesn't hang around with that one. I'm wondering if there's a competition among the video refs to see who can make the quickest decision, because that would probably take the honours. 4 points apiece, kick to come.
I'm all for it. Yeah, and it was just again about the speed of ruck. Bentley wandered across the field, which is always dangerous. You just got a scattered ruck. And Jared O'Connor, well, we spoke about Edwin Mpape, how dangerous he is in that situation. Kai O'Donnell's stuck on the floor. Matt Davis can't get near him. It's a quick ruck. Jared O'Connor takes advantage. And there you go for Leeds. Well, you can have all the fancy players, the best halfbacks in the world. There's something to be said for running hard, playing the ball quickly, and your dummy half running off the back of it. That's how Leeds scored that try. Simple stuff.
Making his 44th consecutive appearance. In fact, he hasn't missed since Rowan Smith took charge, Jared O'Connor. He's got a bit to go to break the record for consecutive appearances, which is 90 plus, held by Carl Gibson. Reece Martin converts.
Jared O'Connor took advantage of the fatigue factor. You know, the Leeds side have had more than twice as many play the balls inside their opponent's half than the Leigh Leopards. And eventually, with the tiring defenders and the quick-thinking O'Connor, they've managed to get their first points and take the lead 6-4.
Leigh just taking their time. 5 minutes to go before the interval.
I've rode about 2 of them, just keep going.
Hanley underneath the restart for a Leeds Rhinos side who have got their noses in front and have made the most of the possession. Chev Walker, Leeds Rhinos assistant coach, on the sideline. Chev, you've had some chances in this game, finally got over the line. What's the view so far from the Leeds perspective?
Yeah, no, we spoke about it being a long game. The more times we can play the ball, it will be in our favour. We've been real close there with a couple of kicks and just not quite got it, but just keep grinding them down, make sure we're winning the play count, and make them tired.
And you're missing, as we've mentioned, you're Blake Austin gone, Richie Myler's not available. You're missing a few key components. What do you make of the performance?
No, it's not about what's missing, it's about what we've got left, and we've always been confident in what we've got as a squad. We just need to keep tapping into it.
Thanks, Chev.
Thank you.
Well, they're calling on some of the younger element. Lewis Roberts getting his chance in this one. Jack Sinfield is on the bench. 18-year-old son of Sir Kev, who is here today. Kevin Sinfield, fresh from England's defeat in Cardiff in the Rugby Union World Cup warm-up game.
Carry from Whisker. It's Gildart.
It's Gildart, beg your pardon.
They've got very similar cycling shorts on, Bill. They'd be forgiven for getting that wrong.
It's good from the referee to allow player to go on. Too many of them shot held too soon. The offload adds to this sport.
He was sort of walking his way up to the halfway line, Oliver Gildart there. So Leigh looking to respond immediately. O'Donnell, strength from him. Here's a mo. 4 tackles gone. 3 minutes to go in the first half. Here's Ben Reynolds. Jack Hughes across the field. McDonald gets a hold of him. Hughes is able to offload to Epape. Epape, good strength from him again. Chamberlain appeals. It's with Lachlan Lamb. Lamb a little step. Lamb trying to wriggle his way through. And that will be the turnover. Came close there, son of.
I think you'd be encouraged to do that, John. I don't know your view, but I think most coaches want the scrum half to take on the defence. You know, obviously not every time on the last tackle, but keeps them honest.
Yeah, I think your halfback's being a running threat's crucial, Phil, because defensively it's so easy to read if you just know that Lachlan Lamb's going to kick the ball or pass the ball there. It's easier to read.
Gildart's in the tackle with Lewis Roberts, and the set restart signal comes again. Just a bit too long in the tackle there, Leigh. Here is Nene McDonald. 27 tries in 27 appearances for Leigh last year. Nene McDonald. Justin Sangare. And Sangare manages to offload, squeezing the ball out. Risky, but it came off. To Jared O'Connor it is, who's playing the ball then on the halfway line. Caesar. McDonald. Half-time at Salford, and they lead St Helens 15 points to 2. Salford, one of the sides ahead of Leeds in the Super League standings. One of the sides Leeds are looking to overhaul. 5th tackle here. Caesar with the kick. Tom Nisbet is underneath it, and Nisbet gets his hands on the ball despite the pressure from Nene McDonald.
He's had a brilliant first half, hasn't he? To come in against McDonald, one of the best in this competition, peppered under pressure, some difficult kicks.
Yeah, tidy, been very tidy. Tom Nisbet there, he's always been a winger, but like you said, Bill, played a few times in the second row for Leigh. Just a point on Leeds, you know, Salford and Hull have been faltering, haven't they? And that's been Leeds' sort of shining light. They'll be gutted to see Salford getting up at St Helens there.
Salford have been on a wretched run.
Yeah, haven't they?
Is it 6 in a row?
Oh. Is that grip spray again?
I think so.
It's just not a particularly good publicity campaign, this, is it? Here is Lachlan Lamb. Lamb booms the pass out forward, the cry from the south stand.
Right,
that'll be the turnover. That was a fizzling out of the Leigh attack.
Yeah. It's 5 seconds before half-time. Ron Slickerby,
pleased up to a point. Adrian Lamb, maybe a bit frustrated. We saw him a bit frustrated at times in that first half. But it's a very close game. It's very tight at half-time. Leeds Rhinos, a lot of huffing and puffing from them. They've got in front, 6 points to 4.
Bill, John, Phil, thank you very much. Pleased up to a point might be a perfect description of how Rowan Smith is feeling now as his players and the Leigh Leopards trudge off here at Headingley at half-time in this. And Bill Arthur.
Thank you, Brian. Well, Leigh beat Leeds earlier this season, and they did win on this ground last year. They were a championship side, though, and that was the Summer Bash, which was hosted by Leeds. And Leigh beat Featherstone 46-16 on this pitch. Here, today, they trail by 6 points to 4 after a bit of a scruffy first half on both sides, really. Looking for improvement in the second 40. Leeds with a good home record against Leigh, having won 13 consecutive home meetings. As Hooley gets the second half underway, Leigh in possession and looking to turn the tables on the Leeds Rhinos. 8th in the table, Leigh Leopards 3rd in the table, looking for a top 2 finish.
Yeah, just a bit more composure here from Leigh. I think Lachlan Lamb, if you look at Leigh's performance in the first half in a nutshell, maybe Lachlan Lamb had his worst half of rugby as a Leigh Leopards player. A little bit more composure, but you can certainly understand them being distracted. You know, we talk about them just having their eyes on this week and the thoughts on this week. Without doubt, the biggest week in the club's history comes next weekend.
They've got to think about the next few minutes, I think. Got off to a decent start. Good defence from Leeds, though, to contain the Leigh side of their own half. And first deep, high kick from Lachlan Lamb.
And into the arms of Ash Hanley, and then Hanley spins it back into the middle of the field to Luke Hooley, who will also have his mind maybe on Wembley next weekend as a Batley player. That's his club.
I think it's worth giving a mention to Batley and Halifax. Good luck in their final as well. Great achievement for Batley. If you remember, if my memory's right, didn't they win the very first Challenge Cup? I think it was actually played on this ground, but
it's great, isn't it, that we've got the 1895, the Men's Challenge Cup and the Women's all at the same venue. Fantastic. St Helens and Leeds women obviously going at it down in London next week, but big 38 minutes or so here for these two teams.
Whoa! Sangari has flattened Lachlan Lamb. Lamb is back up on his feet, and in actual fact it's Sangari who's gone down, clutching his ankle.
Is it the Achilles?
Oh, he's in pain as Sangari, as we see Gareth O'Brien claim that kick, and Sangari has suffered some damage there. He is in a lot of pain, clutching his ankle. The ball's with Tom Nisbet, and Nisbet's told to play the ball. Here is Ed Chamberlain. Sangari being helped to the nearest touchline, and that ball has been spilled and it was stolen out of the hands of Rob Mulhern.
Got some big moments here. It's obviously a penalty from a ball steal from McDonnell. And Sangari is just limping off the field beneath us here. How big could this be? Sangari picking up an injury. Obviously he's a big character, but it's the pressure that then puts on other people who are going to have to play bigger minutes. Holroyd's going to have to come on, play bigger minutes. Oledzki's going to have to play bigger minutes. Doesn't look well.
It's a blow for Leeds.
Away, come straight out. Hold Sam.
Sangari, who's been a hit with the crowd since he joined the club from Toulouse.
He'll be joined by another Frenchman next year, won't he, when they sign Michael Goudemont?
Well, Sangari scored a try on his debut against Warrington, which instantly earned him the favour of the South Stand. Now he's being helped away as Leigh looking to strike back. They led by 4 points to 0. Leeds turned it round towards the end of that first half. Here is Jack Hughes. Made his 300th career appearance last week, did Jack Hughes. Reynolds, Cameron Smith with the tackle. Ipape, who scored the try. And as Atiata got one for Leigh, he has under the sticks. And they strike at the start of the second half with Tom Amone powering through the Leeds defence. And Tom Amone gets his 5th try of the season. And Leeds helpless there.
Well, it was just fantastic footwork. It's Edwin Apape again, just picks the ball up brightly from dummy half and finds Amone, who knows that Edwin Apape is going to run. That angle doesn't quite do it justice. It was a beautiful right foot step from Tom Amone. Lightning, just wrong-footed. The Leeds defenders, great power, but all off that man, Edwin Apape.
They might be moving like that on the dance floor next Saturday if they win at Wembley. That was a great bit of footwork. And Lachlan Lamb pleased here now. I think if they're going to get more possession, I would be worried for Leeds. The amount of possession they had in the first half, the penalties were 6-2 in their favour, penalties 6 against. You know, possession tends to, those tend to even themselves out. And I said in the first half, the second best team in Super League at scoring when they get close to your line. They've got dangerous players.
Back-to-back tries for Tom Amone then, having scored against Wigan last week. And Reynolds, formality for Ben Reynolds, 60th goal of the season. And puts the Leigh Leopards 10 points to 6 ahead.
It's a wonderful right foot step. Again, celebrations from Leigh, made by Apape. Again, a quick ruck. Marker's not quite set.
It was a good try, great footwork, but you'd have to say, a team that can't defend like that shouldn't be in the top 6. They don't deserve to be in the playoffs.
Well, let's get viewpoint from the Leigh Leopards bench from Tony Clubb, assistant coach for the Leopards. Perfect start to the second half, Tony, for you.
Yeah, that's it, and we spoke at half-time just about sticking to our processes, and I don't feel like we got that right in the first half. You know, our ill discipline cost us. You know, I think we give them 8 more sets than what they should have had, so it just gassed us a bit towards the back end, but we just need to stick to that process, keep running hard, keep tackling hard, and, you know, get to the end of our sets and pin them in the corner, and, you know, just get stuck into it. It's just, we're just letting ourselves down at the moment, but hopefully now we can get ourselves on the roll with a bit more ball, we'll be okay.
Tony, thanks for talking to us.
You're more than welcome, guys.
5th tackle, good to hear from Tony Clubb. As Ben Reynolds puts the kick in, it's a high one towards Hanley's wing. The ball's down off Briscoe into Leeds' hands. It's Hooley who gets there in the end. So Leeds on the back foot again. They trail by 10 points to 6.
And this is when somebody like Mikolaj Ledski, I think, who we say is going to get more time on the field because of Sangari's injury, shows us whether he is an international leading prop in this situation here now. Can he make a dent in the Leigh defence as Cameron Smith ball plays out wide?
Here's Manny McDonald. St Helens have struck back in the second half. Salford 15, St Helens 8, narrowing the gap, the Saints. As Caesar inside his own 40, but the kick straight down the middle of the field and claimed by O'Brien, who then gives the ball to Tom Briscoe. Having a good season, Briscoe. 16 tries to his name. He only got 2 last year for Leeds.
Yeah, read my mind, Bill. I was just thinking Josh Charnley's got a load of headlines, hasn't he, for his performances. He's watching here today. But Charnley and Briscoe's a combination. See Charnley and Zach Hardacre, what experience they've got. But Briscoe as well has been incredible. Now we throw Oliver Gill out. He's only 27, but a lot of big game experience. That back line for this last 7 games of the year is looking strong.
Tell you what, it wasn't in Australia for very long, Oliver Gildart, but he still managed to play for West's Roosters and the Dolphins.
I said he was going to say he's picked up the accent.
And now here he is playing for the Leigh Leopards as Reynolds puts the kick in. Hooley claims the ball. It's good chase.
Robbie Mulhern has been fantastic for Leigh this year. And look, he maybe isn't a blockbuster front rower, but he's the first to a kick chase there. We pulled him out with being a first to a kick pressure. His involvements have been so tidy for Leigh this year.
Well done, Lewis Roberts. He was trying to offload that ball, looking for somebody. Hooley eventually arrived. Here's Manny McDonald. Trying to wriggle his way through the Leigh defence. Reynolds finishing him off. 4 tackles gone. Oledzki. Now Caesar again. A deep kick. O'Brien again underneath it. Such a seasoned campaigner, Gareth O'Brien. 9th club of his career, Leigh.
Changed the point of attack, didn't he, with that great pass to Nisbet, moved the defenders around. It made it easier now for the next one to get up rolling forward.
Small contingent of Leigh supporters with a rendition of "We Love You, Lathers," and Lisson is penalised there.
It's a sending off that back in the day, John,
yeah,
a long time ago.
It's a trip. He gets wrong-footed, just hangs his leg out there.
It's dangerous, that.
It is dangerous. It's reckless. You know, we talk
about
about
them, won't it? I honestly say I know it used to be a red card because
I think it's going to be a yellow card.
Yeah, it should be as well.
So they're going to be down to 12 men.
So Lisson goes for that trip.
And he was committed, wasn't he? Committed to the tackle. And that's what gets him in trouble. He almost doesn't slow down enough. Sets himself way too early. Well, Tom Briscoe's smart. He changes. He knows this guy's set to make a hit. Footwork.
Yeah, he jumps, doesn't he, before the defence. If you watch a lot of attacking players, if they jump, the defender's not sure when they land which direction they're going to go in. The clearly wrong foot's Tom Lisson.
So Leeds down to 12. And trailing on the scoreboards. Here is Joe Wardle. Off the bench for Leigh. Played against his brother Jake last week. Mulhern, it was forward, says the referee, in conjunction with his sideline official.
He's not happy, Ben Reynolds, about that one. Just wandering across the field. It's just a slight timing issue. Robbie Mulhern, who would just give a load of praise, just gets his timing slightly wrong. Reynolds doesn't have to throw it to him, by the way. Adrian Lamb will be disappointed. That's exactly what he would have spoke about at half-time. He would have spoke about building the game through completing our sets, getting to a kick and being composed. That's exactly what I wouldn't want to see. A good start here for Leigh. There's clues that first half performance, what Adrian Lamb would have been upset about, are here as well in the second half.
Adrian Lamb going through the agonies at times this afternoon. The 2020 Super League Coach of the Year in his Wigan Warriors days. And I tell you what, he could be candidate again in 2023 after this season's heroics. Challenge Cup final. 3rd in the table at the moment. And if they win here tonight, they're not home and dry yet. This would be the win number 99 of his first grade coaching career. So he'd go to Wembley looking for the 100th win of his coaching career.
No.
I tell you what, Ian Proctor does not miss a thing. It's just brilliant. Caesar with the kick. It's a good one. And O'Brien, as ever, brave at the back. Hull FC bursting Wakefield's bubble, 24 points to 0. That's good work as Tom Nisbet is driven back.
Well, there's a revival here now from Leeds. We've seen it before when they've gone down to 12 men. They won at Wigan, didn't they, with a red card. It is only yellow on this occasion, but they've found a bit of spirit here now to start to get... Attacking without the ball is a key, isn't it? And they're starting to do that here now. Greater line speed.
24-0 to Hull. It could mean that Wakefield are back on the bottom of the table on points difference. And of course we've got 2 weeks away from the monumental game between Wakefield and Castleford. As Lachlan Lamb gets the kick away under pressure from James Bentley, and it's fielded by Luke Hooley. Oh, Hooley is almost tipped up. It's enough for the referee, Marcus Griffiths, to penalise Leigh. protesting his innocence. Or Matt Davis, in actual fact.
Edwin Apape and Wardle deserve a lot of credit for making a tackle safe. That was looking like it was going to be dangerous. Matt Davis was the one driving the lifting of the legs. His two teammates have saved him here from a card, a sending off and a suspension.
And more importantly, from a possible injury for the player.
Absolutely.
That's the most important thing.
Without doubt. And the right decision. But credit Apape and Wardle for salvaging that dangerous situation.
That's exactly what got Kai O'Donnell a 6-game ban for a tackle like that in the cup tie against York, and that did go wrong. So Leeds with the penalty into Leigh Leopard's territory. Is James Donaldson making his 100th appearance for Leeds, the Cumbrian, playing the ball. Oledsky.
It's hard to see quite where the try is going to come from, though, isn't it? Other than a kick or a dive over for like Jared O'Connor did in the first half.
Siu Manafanai is on the field, making the tackle on Oledsky there. Davis involved in that one again. Wardle and Apape on Caesar. Here is Donaldson. Donaldson, little step, loses the ball. It's gone backwards, says the referee. Play on. He signals to Leeds. Corey Johnson playing the ball. Caesar with a kick. Hanley is challenging, and it gets away from him and from Briscoe. And Leigh breathe a sigh of relief.
Yeah, as Phil said, I think the most likely source of a try for Leeds is either going to be a kick or falling over the line. Nearly for Ash Handley there, but Leigh get the chance to breathe again, and Leeds do just look a little bit blunt with their attack.
Good offload from Briscoe, and another offload from Apape to Lamb, and here is Tom Nisbet. Nisbet across the fields. They're just inside that Leeds half. Oh, a strong run from Siu Manafanai. Almost see you later for the Leeds defence. Matt Davis, on it comes to Lachlan Lamb. Oh, Brian Lewis-Roberts very quickly up in his face. It was too high for the referee's liking. And Marcus Griffiths with a good mime.
Yeah, if you're aggressive and you come and shut things down, it's marginal, isn't it? No, it's marginal, but we're doing our best in the game to restrict contacts with the head, Bill. So if it's close and there is contact, we're penalising those. And look, Leigh will go for 2 points here. Lewis-Roberts is giving away a penalty for a high tackle. It's unfortunate for him. It's certainly no intent in it. Marginal contact, but the referee's giving it, and we need to respect that. 2 points in the offing here for Leigh.
I was surprised that Ben Reynolds missed one of the conversions in the first half. He's been a great kicker a successful goal kicker this year. 80% success with his goal kicking.
79.
It was 79.6, I think, when I checked, Will, so I've gone to round it up.
Well, he kicked 3 from 3 against Wigan last week. He kicked 4 goals against Leeds in the 20 points to 6 victory back at Easter.
He kicked 2 penalties in the second half when they played Leeds earlier this year. There was no tries.
And this too extends the Leopards' lead in what is turning out to be a tight contest. Reynolds from distance, on target, into the arms of the Leigh supporters at the far end of the ground. And Leigh move 12 points to 6 ahead. We can go down to the sidelines and hear from Jenna.
Yeah, just an update on Justin Sangare. We all saw him go down in what looked like a terrible injury for him. Here it is here. I've just spoken to the club doctor. I'm told it's a foot injury, but he was in agony, had his head down. It took him almost 10 minutes to get around the pitch. There he is there being helped. He looked in agony, but I'm told it is a foot injury.
Thanks, Jenna. And of course, the sin binning as well. Sam Lissone.
Onside!
Yeah, both of them.
Sangare back on the bench.
Ready, on you, Leigh.
With protective boots on, we're told. Leeds trailing here, and consistency has been one of their failings this season. Went backwards, says the referee. O'Brien recovering the ball. Leeds have not managed more than 3 successive wins in 2023. If they are going to make the top 6 now, they have got to start stringing some wins together, because above them there are clubs still in the hunt. Hull FC, a case in point, 24 points to 4 against Wakefield, and Salford 15-14. Saints coming back. Makinson still I think a quarter of the game to go there. The Saints have woken from their slumbers. 5th tackle, and Lachlan Lamb gets some height on that kick. Hooley is underneath it, avoids the first Leigh chaser, can't get away from Tom Nisbet.
Where we see the impact of Lasone and Sangari being off the field. Oledzki here, number 8, big number 8 for Leeds, only just getting back on side. As we said, a lot more workload for this Leeds middles to get through now. They're down on troops.
The crowd here hushed. 12 points to 6 into the final quarter of the contest. Leigh, who are heading for Wembley next weekend, but also unthinkably in great position to make a challenge for the grand final. As Gareth O'Brien fields that ball and then brings it towards the middle of the field.
Roberts has had Gareth O'Brien in his crosshairs a few times. That one, nice piece of defence from the young Leeds centre.
James off the ball!
Well, I guess Leeds need to be patient, don't they? They've not got a lot of points in them. They have to defend very well and hope that they can find that try as Lasone comes back on the pitch.
Come on, Leeds, front speed!
Here's Kai O'Donnell. Once to the Canberra Raiders. He plays the ball. Forward is the call from the Leeds supporters. That's the 5th tackle, just inside Leigh territory. Apapi backs it. Back it comes to Lachlan Lamb, and Lamb again hoists a high one again. Hooley is underneath it. Tell you what, Luke Hooley hasn't put a foot wrong, has he?
No, and I think he's been clean and tidy. All the young guys who've come in for Leeds have done a sterling job. But I think what's the difference here in the second half is the composure from Leigh. The completion rate, the amount of times they get into the end of the set and get into a kick has become far more consistent. The end of the set's far more consistent. And that's why they're just in the ascendancy.
Holroyd has lost the ball. Storming run from the young prop, but it slipped from his grasp. Don't think he can have any complaints there, can he?
Ben Reynolds.
Maybe.
Well, Ben Reynolds was on the ball, but
he's lost the ball in the tackle, hasn't he? And his team deserves to lose possession. What you do notice watching Leeds here is just with the absence of Myler at fullback, how many passes, how much play he creates for players around them. Obviously, Richie Myler's not there, but I mean, there have been some games where he's made more passes than the scrum half and standoff in matches this season. Really gets involved, and that's, I think, the reason why they've looked quite one-dimensional.
Yeah, and it's the benefit of having a fullback who's played in the halves. So Gareth O'Brien for Leigh, their fullback, formerly a half-back. Well, Leeds have benefited from having Myler, who's done the self-same thing at the back for them. Brings a lot together. It's a big miss for them.
Jared O'Connor quickly up on Ave CU Manafanai. Once of the Leeds club. Lachlan Lamb, short ball. Lovely run from O'Donnell. Kai O'Donnell almost finding a way through there. He's tackled 10 metres out for Leigh. Here is Sedwin Ipapi. On the ball comes to Reynolds. Here's Lachlan Lamb. Lamb's short pass. Gildarts coming back in field. Bentley tracking him and making the tackle. Still 10 metres away they are. Ipapi running again. He manages to offload the ball to Reynolds. Reynolds, short pass.
Big tackle from Reece Martin. Big tackle.
Gildart just short. 5th tackle, that is. Back the ball comes to Davis. Lamb, on it comes to O'Brien. O'Brien! It comes off Leigh, and it's a restart on the 20, and a big opportunity that for the Leopards.
Yeah, it comes down to personnel. That's that left-hand side. You fancy if Ricky Latelli gets that ball early in his hands. Gareth O'Brien really drives into the line.
I think Leeds were defending for the season there, Bill, not just for this match. More points than probably the year and the top sixes beyond them. They've got to restrict Leigh to no more than 12 points and then hope they can somehow find one in this final quarter.
A let-off for Leeds, that. Ed Chamberlain not able to take the pass. Leeds still in the playoff mix. How much longer will that be the case? Despite narrowly losing their last 2 games at home to Hull KR, Brad Schneider's drop goal, and at St Helens dramatically there as well. They have been close at times this season. McDonald plays the ball. Bassoni is back out there after his sin binning. And here is Holroyd.
Yeah, Holroyd's been great, hasn't he, for Leeds all year? Him and James McDonald in particular, I think, have been standout. And Jared O'Connor, 3 young forwards who are doing great.
Caesar on it goes. Bentley coming, Hanley coming back in field. Offloads to Bentley. And Leeds. Is this the chance for them? Caesar's little kick is too strong.
See Edwin Apape clapping in there. He knows how important and how much respite that'll give the Leigh Leopards. It's just too strong from Aidan Caesar. It's good pressure again from the inside of the line. Leigh's attention to detail. Matt Davis, they're putting pressure on Caesar. Too strong. Leigh get well.
And Adrian Lamb introduces some fresh legs here now. Joe Mellor's on to replace Edwin Ipape to close out the game. Last 15.
Here is Briscoe now. There is Joe Mellor. Very experienced player, 33 years of age now. The former Widnes man. Running now, Mellor. He got 2 tries on this ground back in 2013 as a Widnes player, did Joe Mellor, in their Super League days. Reynolds, Gildart flicks the ball out and miraculously it lands in the arms of Gareth O'Brien. Now then, here's Kai O'Donnell looking threatening. Anxiety in the voices of the Leeds fans around us. Lamb puts the brakes on and weaves his way through. Short pass from him to Siu Manafinai.
The drop goal on option.
Anybody lining up for it? Not as yet. On the last, Reynolds with the kick. And it's claimed by Hanley. And Hanley resisting the Leopards' invitation to go to the sideline. Hull FC making sure of that game, 30 points to 4. They lead Wakefield. And St Helens have turned it around. 15-2 down they were. They now lead by 18 points to 15. Here is Caesar. Nisbet, that's good work from Caesar. Strength from Aidan Caesar, whose time with Leeds is apparently coming to an end, linked with a return to Australia and a gig with the West Tigers. Anxious Leeds supporters, their side trailing 12 points to 6. They're looking at 3 defeats in a row at the moment. They're looking at potentially missing out on the playoffs. You think of the stature of this Leeds club. Matt Davis has flattened Aidan Caesar there, and it's going to be a penalty back down in Leigh territory. Caesar is back up on his feet. Not sure it was that late, but it was late enough.
I think it's a fair challenge.
I think the issue he's got is he doesn't wrap his arms or make an attempt to wrap his arms, so the accusation there would be that it is a shoulder charge. In terms of the timing, it's not late. Matt Davis's issue was didn't look like he had any intent to wrap his arms around Aidan Caesar as he kicked it. It's a penalty. It could be a costly penalty, this, for Leigh, who've been really disciplined in the second half. It's the first bit of ill discipline from Matt Davis. Just no need. Just slow yourself up and make the tackle in an orthodox way, and that's not a penalty.
So it's a big opportunity for Leeds now, who really haven't put their attacking game together in the second half, and time is running out for them. But this game is certainly within their grasp. Here is Caesar, recovered from that challenge from Matt Davis. Of course, there's a disciplinary who'll be on duty.
I think offloads offer them the chance, some unstructured play. Cause some chaos now for Leeds to defend, for Leigh to defend.
That's been their trademark this season, hasn't it? But the sort of ad hoc style. Here's Cameron Smith inching his way over the 10-metre line. Jared O'Connor trying again. He's just short of the try line. Here is Caesar now. Caesar's pass finds Holroyd. Holroyd gets the ball away, and it's into the hands of Tom Nisbet.
Said they're offside, Bill. They're going to get another chance.
Just crept off that goal line. Just trying to get marginal gains, just get a step further up. Tom Holroyd getting the ball in a really unorthodox position. We've seen the Leeds front rowers get the ball, carrying the ball out wide. It's O'Donnell who was offside. And Rowan Smith will be wanting some clarity, execution from his key players here.
Well, this is a golden opportunity for them. 10 minutes just over of this game to go. Leeds being invited into Leigh Leopards territory, invited to strike back in this contest. Bentley brought down by Jack Hughes just a few metres away from the try line. Cameron Smith gives it to Holroyd, and Holroyd, good strength from him, and still he goes. O'Connor makes some space. The pass to Cameron Smith. Bentley back on the inside. Good work low down from Joe Wardle to stop Bentley. They're trying again, and it's Jared O'Connor with a second try potentially. And Marcus Griffiths reckons it is a try. Has he got that ball down, Jared
Tackle
O'Connor?
line decision is a try on field, so we're just looking at the grounding again, please. Confirm O'Connor grounds the ball. He's in possession at this point. Still in possession. He's fighting to get towards the line. Still in possession of the ball. Still in possession. Oh, let's have another look at that from a different angle, please. So his right arm is on the ball, his left arm isn't. Comes away. Is there any other available angles, please? So I'm looking if the ball comes out of his grip. If it does, he must catch hold or re-grip the ball to be deemed to regain possession. So you can see that it does come away from the hand there. Is there any other available angles? Otherwise, the first one might be the best. Doesn't really show me much. It's probably the first angle is probably going to be the best, unless with anything else. Yeah, so we go slow on this, please. I'll talk it through. So you can see it comes out of his hand there. Comes out of his hand. You go slow again, please, there. So it comes out of his hand and hits the floor. He must catch hold or re-grip the ball to regain possession, and he doesn't. So thank you, I've made my decision.
Jared O'Connor in sight of the first brace of his career, but I think he's going to be denied it by video ref Liam Moore, and it's a let-off for the Leigh Leopards. He couldn't keep hold of that ball in the scramble.
He'll be losing hair over that one, will Terry. Sorry. Look, it's a bad read from Jack Hughes and Wardle, because they should be sweating on O'Connor doing that. They weren't, but a huge effort from Jack Hughes. I think he gets his hand on that ball, and that's why the ball pops out. I think he forces the ball out of Jared O'Connor's grasp. So it was a poor piece of play from Wardle and Hughes, but then a big recovery from them, forcing the error from O'Connor, who's been bright here, hasn't he, for Leeds?
That is a massive, massive let-off for Leigh. And we are now inside the last 10 minutes, and they do lead by 12 points to 6. And here is Rob Mulhern. Leeds going into this one 4 points adrift of Hull KR and Warrington, and 2 behind Salford, who have lost the lead against St Helens. So there is a massive scramble for the top 6 places from 4, 5 and 6 really.
This year has been an exceptional year. I think Super League has really delivered.
But is it down to the inconsistency of those sides?
But it's great, isn't it? Sport shouldn't be predictable. So we've had St Helens reign at the top for 4 years, and that becomes predictable, much like Wigan maybe in the 90s was predictable. Well, this year has become really unpredictable in every sense, and that's made it fascinating to watch.
Reynolds with a kick into the corner. Where is the 1 point?
They are harder than I suppose people anticipate when they watch on. The success rate of drop goals, Bill, is low. Perhaps because we don't practice them very much in the league. The setup's never great, it's always rushed.
Have to get Faye Gaskin out. She popped one over for St Helens women like it was nothing.
It isn't in fashion though, is it? They tend to wait till golden point.
So Leeds with Nene MacDonald. And now Cameron Smith. Ever present in all 21 games, Cameron Smith. Jared O'Connor likewise. Then that ball is spilled, it goes backwards, says no, it was knocked on, says the referee. And Leigh celebrates.
It's a knock on, it's been lost over here.
Or are they celebrating prematurely? Was there a Leigh hand in there? No. Aidan Caesar questioning that.
Yes. Donaldson gets the offload away. Lachlan Lamb gets into a tackle. What he's saying is that it's a knock-on because he has to be in control of the ball. If he fumbles it, and if it makes contact with Lachlan Lamb, that's a tough call, isn't it? Because Lachlan Lamb makes contact, forcing the ball backwards. Holroyd picks it up. I think that should be play on to Leeds. Tough call. Leeds have had a few tough calls here today, but Leigh will take that.
Ready? Ball in, Lachlan. Out.
Well, there were question marks over what Leigh's approach would be to this contest. Not a week away from their big date at Wembley, but you cannot question their commitment. Here is Kai O'Donnell, hoping that maybe, having been out for 6, he can force his way into the reckoning for a Wembley place, but the competition is fierce in the Leopards' ranks.
It's going to be Gareth O'Brien here.
Not there yet, as Mulhern rumbles it forwards. Now they potentially are. O'Brien standing well back. Here he is now. Gareth O'Brien skims one over, and he is on target. And Leigh edged closer to a double over the Leeds Rhinos.
Well, the season just gets better, doesn't it? Absolutely brilliant there. It's over 50 years since they won at Wembley. It's over 40 years now since Leigh beat Leeds home and away, which is what they look likely to do here now with just over 5 minutes to go.
There's a lot to like about Leigh's performance here today. Gareth O'Brien celebrates the 1 point. It was far from perfect. Derek Beaumont and Duke Snow, it's far from perfect here, but they found a way.
They were still at primary school, Dukes and Beaumont, when Leigh last beat Leeds twice in a season. It's amazing what they've done this year. The promoted side, we forget, don't we? Most people expected them to be relegated. And here against the team we played in last year's grand final, they're giving them a second lesson for the year.
Well, the Leeds supporters are heading for the exits, and their playoff hopes are fading. And what a statement that is for a club of this stature.
And I think I'll get criticised online for speaking about Leeds, but Leeds are not happy with where they're at as a club, are they? They can't be.
High tackle.
Yeah.
Leeds penalty. Well, it's, what is it, 6 years since they were in the top 4.
They haven't had a home semi-final since 2017. 8 of the 17 who played in the grand final last year are on the road. The recruitment, I think, has been poor for a number of years. They haven't got it done for a number of years. And Rowan Smith, Gary Hetherington and the club, in the light of the star player leaving, have got some thinking to do. This club deserves, it's got an amazing support, a fantastic club, such a rich history with success, but they're going to have to work hard to get back there because it's just not working for them at the minute.
They've got fantastic facilities here at Headingley. The envy of Super League to a large extent, but humble Leigh Leopards are showing them the way.
James, move!
And the Lathers at that end that Leigh are attacking are enjoying another day out. And they've got a big day out in London next weekend. That is going to be some weekend with the Robins there as well, as Lamb tries to feed one through and the ball is picked up by McDonnell, and Leeds, still time for them if they want to pull off a miracle recovery. But it's Gareth O'Brien's 17th career drop goal, his first in Leigh Leopards colours, that has given Leigh the chance of celebrating victory here.
17 drop goals, 9 clubs. What a player.
Oh, well, the most
Clutch
memorable
player.
of those would be that £1 million game, wasn't it? From, what was it, 40 plus?
The referee says a knock-on from Bentley and they play the ball. And a poor end here now for the match, and maybe their hopes for the year for the Leeds team with another mistake.
I think Leeds would have gone into this game thinking Salford are struggling, Hull KR have got their eyes on the Challenge Cup final. We get a result here against Leigh, who could well be distracted by Wembley as well. Our playoff campaign is well and truly, you know, up and running. We can push, we've done this before, but is this the loss that sees them not able to make the playoffs this year?
Well, the focus should be on Leigh, shouldn't it? Another
Time back on, ball.
big win.
And they didn't play well in the first half, Bill. That's what I said. I'm impressed by Leigh because they've come out in the second half and done what it needed to do. They've done what they needed to do to win the game.
Hey, talk about win the game. Don't they play Catalan at home in a week or two's time?
Well, they've got Wembley and then they've got Catalan, a game you can see on Sky.
Sort of got the confidence and form to challenge the Dragons here, I think.
Here is Mulhern. I'll tell you what the big question is at Wembley. The big question for Hull KR against Leigh. I'll come to it in a minute because Leigh are on the attack. Here is See You Manafort, but it's going to be, I think, the one all the pundits are asking. Here is Mellor. Mellor almost finding a way through. That is the 5th tackle. And what will Lachlan Lamb come up with here? They're going to run it. O'Brien is quickly closed down, and that will be the turnover. The question is, what will Derek Beaumont be wearing
I knew
at
that was the
Wembley?
question. Leopard print, predictably.
Well, there's leopard print, and there's Derek Beaumont leopard print.
It's expensive, bad taste, leopard print. He loves it. Good on him.
And will
Did
will
you
he, I
find
mean,
out when you did do a podcast with him?
Bernard Gouache had a bull on the field at Catalan. Is Derek going to have a leopard? Is he going to be walking out with a leopard on a chain?
All I'll say is this, what he wanted to wear was sold out. So in a podcast, The Bench with me and Jenna before, he did say that it's finally becoming available and we're to expect something special.
They used to settle just wearing a carnation in the lapel, didn't they?
Yeah, the game's changed.
It'll be a great day for the whole town, won't it? All of the supporters.
And for East Hull as well.
Yeah. It's big.
Full time at Salford, and what a comeback from Saints, from 15-2 down. And it's 7 defeats in a row for Salford now, as they've been beaten 18 points to 15.
It's a big comeback for St Helens, that.
Here is Aidan Caesar. And it's the Leigh supporters away to our left with their rendition of Ole, 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 and we'll be looking forward to hearing that next weekend, and the Red Robins will be bobbing along. Plus the 1895 final and the women's final. Here is Cameron Smith. And Hull FC have emphatically beaten Wakefield, so don't write off the black and whites just yet. Wakefield back to the bottom of the table. Into the final 30 seconds of this game. Tom Nisbet, brought into the side, has shown up well, and Leeds, well, a disappointing afternoon for them. 3 defeats in a row this will be. Lachlan Lamb, Briscoe, Here is Reynolds' last tackle of the game. Leigh celebrates. The coach will be content and relieved because they've come through unscathed, Leigh, by the look of things. And they've picked up the win as well. For Leeds, it's a disappointing afternoon. And their hopes of a top 6 finish, well, they were looking slim beforehand. As Josh Charnley is all smiles. Leeds' hopes looking slender beforehand. They look even more faint now after that defeat. 12 points to 6. The Leopards 13 points to 6 with that O'Brien drop goal.